people should not think that having a C-section is an easy way out of giving birth, because actually you go through some hard moments. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my C-section experience and recovery story. So hey there, if you're new here, my name is Sarafina. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel, and it would really help me and it will mean a lot if you subscribe to my channel. So let's just jump right into that video. It was on 2nd June and it was my due date. I was not feeling anything. I didn't have any contractions, but I was feeling my baby moving. But of course I was like, I need to go and check with my doctor. So when I went to the hospital, I checked with my midwife and she checked me. And then she's like, you know what, the best thing for you is to stay in the hospital throughout the night. We are going to be monitoring you just in case there are some changes with you or the baby. So that day I stayed in the hospital. They were checking me throughout the night. Everything was fine, literally. We had no problem. Baby was breathing fine. I was doing fine. And then she checked a little bit back. When I went to the hospital, I was 1 centimeter dilated. So throughout the night, I actually didn't change anything. I was like normal. Still, I didn't get any signs or anything. So she checked me in the morning and she's like, you know what, you're like still on 1 centimeters. And I remember they checked me around like 5 a.m. in the morning to see if the baby is still fine. But I know he was really getting tired, because I guess like I know he wanted to come out. And then when she checked me, there was no progress at all. Like literally I didn't move any inch. So she's like, you know what, we cannot, because actually she had said that if I don't get contractions, they are going to induce me, which I was fine with, because I wanted the baby to come out already. So yeah, and then so then when she checked me in the morning, she's like, you know what, nothing is happening and your baby is getting really tired. We cannot put him at risk. So you're going to have an emergency C-section. Oh my god, I was so devastated, you guys. Like I was crying like crazy. I know I'm a grown-up, but that was like a bomb that has just landed on me. So I was there crying. They called my hubby and they told him what is going to happen. My mom was there. They talked to my mom, but I was really in shock. I was scared. I was like, how can it happen? Everything was fine. But they called like actually like 4 doctors to talk to me just to calm down, because I was like in shock and panicking and scared, like everything. This is why I've made this video for you who is watching there. Please, if you're pregnant or if you're expecting to have a baby, just don't focus your mind on one thing. Like say that I'm going to have a natural birth and that's it, that's what I'm doing. Because you never know, situations can really change just like that. So be considerate of any option. Just be open-minded. If it's a natural birth, well, good for you. If it's a C-section, it's still a good thing. What matters most is your baby coming out safe. Okay, so yeah, so then they talked to me and then like I calmed down. They put me on the wheelchair. They took me to the theater. I changed into the gown and then you go onto the operating bed. And on that bed, you like sit on it and then like try to bend, because they give you an injection in your spine. It's not an epidural. It's also anesthesia, but it's different from epidural, because this one, the spinal injection, they just inject you the medicine and they pull it out. But for the epidural, I'm pretty sure when they put the injection in, they leave the catheter on the thread, so they can constantly give you the medicine. But yeah, anyway, they gave me that injection, and then after like a minute they were asking me, do you feel anything? And I was like, no, I'm not feeling anything. So from my waist down, I was numb. I didn't feel like really anything. And then I was there on bed. They were talking. He didn't come into the room because it was the hospital rules. They didn't let him in. And yeah, I was there with the doctors. And then of course there's a doctor besides you, like trying to talk you through, just keeping your mind away from the operation, because he was like talking to me a lot. I didn't focus on the operation. And I just remember like them like shaking me, like of course, like as natural birth is, when you're having a C-section, they just you feel a little bit of pressure, because of course the doctor has to pull the baby out. And I remember the surgeon telling the doctor who was besides me like to put pressure on my abdomen just so she can pull the baby out. But yeah, so they put pressure on it, and actually you can feel a little bit of pressure. You don't feel pain. You're not supposed to feel pain. So just in case you feel pain, you just have to tell them that you're feeling pain. You feel only pressure because of course they are pulling like a baby out. there's a little bit of pressure. You just don't have to focus on it, just have to go through it, you know, as you're going to meet your baby. So in few moments the baby's already out, and they showed me the baby. This is your baby. He has like 10 toes. What am I saying? 10 toes, 10 fingers. Okay, just to say that, you know, everything was like, you know, fine. So and then they started cleaning him. They were cleaning him beside me, so I could see everything that was going on. And then after that they took him to the room because he was really crying. I did not eat before the operation, so I guess he came out really hungry. They took him and gave him to his dad so he could feed him. You know, I had gone with everything prepared. As you know, you have to prepare yourself when you're going to the hospital. So I stayed in the theater, and then they were like, you know, I guess closing me up. And when I finished, because they have, after they are done like closing you up, they have to transfer you from the the bed they were operating you on to another bed, that so they can drive you to your room. So they were like, you know what, you're going to feel like you're falling, but trust us, you're not going to be falling. We are going to be like carrying you. But actually that's exactly what you feel. You feel like, you know, that you're falling down. But then I in my mind I focused, like I was like, you know, I'm not gonna fall. And then yeah, they put me to the bed, and then they took me to my room. So when I reached to my room, I found him, he was sleeping. And after like 10 minutes he woke up. So I started breastfeeding him, and then the doctors told me that, you know, we'll come and check on you later. So after I guess like 30 minutes they came back, and they were like, are you passing gas? Do you feel like you want to pee or anything? But at that moment I didn't feel anything. I didn't pass gas. I didn't feel like I want to pee or any of that. So they said if any occurs, just send someone to inform us, or we'll be checking on you. So they come back, I guess, after like 1 to 2 hours, and then by that moment I was passing gas. So and then she asked me, are you feeling anything? And I said yes, I'm passing gas. And she's like, wow, that's pretty good. So you can take tea, you can take some watery stuff, don't eat solids. So yeah, I took my tea and all that good stuff. And then after some few moments I felt like I really want to pee. So they called the doctor, and then she's like, you know what, oh, that's good, you want to pee, so we are going to take the catheter out. I was like, what? I had the catheter all this time. And then they're like, yeah, so but since you're feeling like you want to pee, we are going to take it out. When I tell you guys I went into the C-section not knowing anything, I was blank. I didn't know, I didn't research, I didn't read anything. I just know that C-section is there, but obviously I didn't consider it, so I didn't educate myself about it, which you have to do. Don't do the mistake that I did. Anyway, so they took my catheter out, and then I went to pee with the help of the nurse, of course. And then after I was done, I went back to the bed. And actually waking up to walk from the bed, I didn't really feel that much pain because the bed was reclining and declining, so it was pretty easy for me. Only that I could not like walk straight up. I felt like I'm going to open up. You really get scared and you feel like your incision is opening up, but no, that's not the case. It's just the feeling. You feel like it's really tight and it's just gonna burst up if like you walk straight, but it doesn't happen. Though I mean, that's what you have to go through. They told me the next day, you know, you have to walk around, just it's good for your incision. So I was walking around with my mom around the hospital. And on the second day I showered. Yeah, that's when the nurse came and they showered me, and everything was fine. I was like, okay, but just know that you're going to be getting a lot of injections. They were giving me a lot of injections, and I remember there was one painkiller in particular. It was so itchy, like when they inject you with it, oh my god, you can like scratch yourself. I remember like I told my mom, like, this is really, so can you come and scratch me? Because I could, like, when I was scratching myself, I was like, it's not enough for me. So yeah, there's that injection that will really make you really itchy. But yeah, they give you strong painkillers. You don't actually feel pain. So I stayed in the hospital for 3 days, and on the 3rd day I went back home. So this is when you're going to feel like, oh my god, what is happening? So when I went home, remember in the hospital you have this bed that can recline and decline. At home you just have a flat bed. It was so painful when I tell you guys to go onto the bed. Oh my god, this is why like people should not like just say that, oh, people who have like a C-section is an easy way out. I mean, you don't push, you don't go through that. we really go through a hard time. Like I was in excruciating pain. Is that how I say that? And you cannot imagine, I was screaming, just getting up off of the bed and even going down. Those two things, oh my god, they were really like hard for me. So they gave me some painkillers. I went with them home. I was taking them, but still you're going to feel the pain. That really strong pain stayed for like 2 weeks, but it was not constant. Sometimes you can actually like go on a bed, sit and get up and you don't feel it, but in most cases you do feel them. And then showering is of course kind of hard, you know, you have to go into the tub and coming back. But of course when you have your relative, I was lucky my mom was there and she was helping me through all those hard moments, and I'm so grateful for that. You don't eat like really hard food. Like it's better to stay away from starch so that you don't have to pass. I mean, this is like TMI, but someone needs to hear this. So you don't have to eat like hard food so that your poo is not hard. And peeing is okay, but just know that you feel a little bit uncomfortable, not really painful, because of course you had the catheter. So all the time when you're peeing, I guess it stayed for like 4 days and I was okay with that. And luckily I didn't have any hard poo, so it was really soft for me. But you have to be aware of those. Even if like you left the hospital and it was okay, don't just jump onto eating hard foods. One thing you have to be aware of is like laughing and coughing and sneezing. I know you cannot control sneezing, but you can control at least laugh and coughing. You can just but because like when you do that, you're going to feel a lot of pain and you're going to feel like you're opening up. I remember he was telling us some like funny story and I was laughing and oh my god, I felt a lot of pain. First of all, I even thought that my incision was opening. It was really painful. I made sure that I avoid funny moments. I don't watch TV stations that are really funny, and luckily enough I did not cough and I did not sneeze. So you have to be aware of that. Otherwise, I mean, everything goes on well, the pain leaves you and then like you're back to your normal life, you're enjoying your baby and stuff like that. And she advised me not to carry any heavy stuff. So I guess that brings me to the end of my delivery story, but I want to say this: don't let anybody belittle you, put you down, say that you didn't do that much just because you had a C-section, because you go through some hard moments as the person who gave a vaginal birth. And it's not that because some people say maybe I would not be close like to my baby. No, there's no way. As long as it's your kid, like you really love them the same as you gave like vaginal birth or you gave them via C-section. So just know that the most important thing and the most good thing you did is to deliver a healthy baby, and you did it for him. He's there with you, he's alive, like, you know, that's the most important thing. The rest is just how the baby comes into the world, doesn't really matter. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something and it opened up your mind about like this journey. Most importantly, I hope it helped someone out there who is watching this video. Just, I beg you, please be open-minded and think of all the options. If you don't stick to your birth plan, it's okay. It's okay to have your baby via C-section. It doesn't change anything. See you in my next video, guys. Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe.